Ya da Yado. Hey, what's going on, family? As y'all can see, I'm slow motion. Fell asleep, and according to the wife, I couldn't be waking up, and I was stuck. So now I'm here, and we're gonna make something happen. I don't know what. But we do got a nice little arsenal of things to deal with today. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I kind of dropped the ball on the show this week. I really haven't promoted or pushed the information or put it in front of y'all what was going on, put the flyer out there, none of that. My life got abducted by this they cloned Tyrone. And I don't know if did I was that last week I brought that up here? I know we did something. No, I did something in Clubhouse on it, but I don't think I did anything up here about it. And I'm just gonna say, woo. If it's not the number one movie in the nation, they lying. If it's not the best movie of the last 5-10 years, they lying. That movie was deep. And it's one of those movies that's crazy because it looks like a comedy. I mean, when you sit down and you're first being introduced to it, it doesn't seem like what it's gonna be what it turns into. They used what would be considered low vibrational characters to bring an extremely high vibrational point across. You can't convince me, not even if he said it out his own mouth, that this is not what got, I guess the new term I keep hearing y'all use is unalived. I guess that's what it is now. But I definitely don't believe whoever the pale guy with the pointy head is definitely not the same guy from In Living Color. But hey, whatever. I'm gonna put it to you this way. You can't make a movie like this and whoever's behind it be safe. You just can't, like, the way they got this structure set up, they don't really take chances like that anymore. So I did a TikTok and I'm gonna drop it. I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm gonna make it as a YouTube too because it's a lot longer than the typical TikToks. but I watched a couple of but I did it like this. I made sure I had all my information down and a comprehension of what I was gonna do laid out before I watched other people's TikToks because I don't want to steal anybody's ideal and try to claim it for my own. And when y'all see mine, you're gonna tell that I didn't get none of my ideology from none of the other TikToks, at least none of the ones I've seen. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Y'all bear with me. At least none of the ones I've seen. So a lot of the ones I've seen were pretty brief. I couldn't figure out how in the world to squeeze all that information into a short space. So I seen most people kind of just mull over the basics. And I'll say this too. And this really is going to have a lot to do with what we're dealing with tonight. I hate that we're so scared of anything in depth. Like we love all the shallow shit. If we have to dig too far, then it's like a turnoff for us. Look, but we gotta get past that because like most things ain't gonna be right there just for you. Hey, and you gotta do a little bit of digging. And this I don't know. I got a couple different things that I wanna deal with. I'm just trying to figure out which direction to go in first. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Something's bugging me. I ain't gonna be able to flow till I deal with it. 1 second. Yahoo, God, peace. And I think that's the first time ever one of the kings was the first one here speaking before a queen. That is the historical moment right there. That has never happened. A year and a half or 2 years we've been here, never had one of the kings get up at the chat section first and say, "What's to it, family?" So blessings. That's big love right there. I mean, hey, don't get mad, queens. Y'all been holding it down. He was quick draw today. What do you want to say? But there's man, I don't know. I'll get back to it. I got so much going on. I'm just trying to still wake up. Here we go. Now this is where we're gonna be at today. Pressure bust pipes. Cause like I said, I just think I hate the fact that we can't connect simple dots. We dropped the ball. Everybody my age, we dropped the fucking ball. We didn't we got groomed. We are the beginning of the gangster niggas and bad bees era. We're like the forefathers of that. So like our grandparents and parents, mostly grandparents, were so indoctrinated, and we didn't understand really what was going on. The only thing we knew is that like as a newer generation with slightly fresher thinking, these doctrines didn't really have a place for us because it was like all they did was talk down on us. No, it wasn't really trying to like. It was that whole "what's wrong with them damn kids" energy. They got the pants sagging and you know, it was that whole energy that was like a turnoff for us. Like, so then we rebelled, and I know all younger generations rebelled, but I think ours was a little bit different than some of the other ones we've seen historically because ours was a outright rebellion. A lot of other rebellions before that was a rebellion towards maybe this religion or that religion, this belief system or that belief system. But we got to a space where we rebelled against all the belief systems and embraced the streets completely. Like the streets became the new religion outwardly. Now the streets have been around for a long time, but if you go back to like the mob days, it was always those street dudes was always trying to achieve balance, meaning like they understood that there was supposed to be a separation between home and street. So the street dude tried everything in his power not to let the home life mesh with the street life. So he didn't want his wife to know. He painted a picture to his wife and everybody else like, hey, I'm an upstanding businessman. That's why they wore the suits and all that. They didn't want to be looked at as gangsters. That was like amongst each other, of course, but anybody that was outside of that world, they didn't want to be looked at as gangsters. They wanted to be respected as businessmen, free thinkers, and stuff like that. So that was how it's always been as far as with street and family. It's always been that line where, hey, we don't mix the two. You know how they used to have the rule, no women and children. Why? Because we don't mix the two. We're men. What men do out here, that's men business. So since men out here doing what men do, men deserve whatever come to them. And ain't no crying about it. But you don't involve the women and children. So we would literally get the drop on somebody, see him with his family, and speak to him. And just let him know, hey, how you doing? And he knew what that meant. He understood, like, I could be dead right now. And the only thing saving me is my wife and kids. He smiled at you, say, come on, honey. Y'all speak cordially, but the eyes, both of y'all know, like, yeah, you had me. Yeah, I almost had you. Thank God for your wife. Thank God for my wife. And they went their ways. Now, he might follow him until he dropped the wife off. But they understood we don't mix these two. So now, when you get the 80s and you get the crack era, you get a different type of money than has ever been seen before. The streets had never seen this type of money before. This fast, this much. We've all heard stories about the crack lines that was all the way down the street around the corner, which, by the way, how was that ever allowed to happen? I mean, you can say what you want to say, but police have always known who the drug dealers in the neighborhood was. Maybe not right away, but they've always known because that's what the fuck they're there for. So at some point, they're going to figure out who's the guy running the neighborhood. Whose house is that with the long ass line every fucking morning at 8 a.m. until noon? They sit there, they watch, they take pictures, they do something called build a case. See, if you don't pay attention, if you blink, you're missing. So let's deal with this whole ideology of building a case. So we know the cops will build a case, FBI, they'll build a case for 2-3 years. So let's look at what that really means. What's that really means? Now, the problem is we want to get these drugs off the streets because they say they care about the communities and the people. Because if you don't care about the communities or the people, why would you give a shit about stopping drug dealers, right? One would think. So, logically speaking, in order to want to rid your neighborhood of crime and these horrible drug dealers, you would have to care about the neighborhood and the people in it, right? You would think. Okay, so now back to this building the case and this investigation thing. So if you're who I think is the local crack dealer who runs the neighborhood, and we're investigating and building a case, that means for 3 years, we watch you sell crack to real live people. It's not a fucking video game. We watch you. We got you under surveillance. We're watching multiple crack deals for 2 to 3 years while we build a case. How many lives get ruined over crack in 3 years time period while y'all taking pictures and looking for the guy you want? See, that's when we start to get this feeling like, wait a minute. This gives me kind of a feeling like maybe we're playing some type of fucking game here. Because why? Doesn't matter 3 years later. You know how many people OD off crack in a 3-year time period? You know how many people literally die in one neighborhood? How many families and lives get ruined in 3 years from crack? While you build your investigation? So this is how you know there's another motive at play here. It's definitely not illegal to let citizens walk off a cliff. Last time I checked, I agree with that. Ignorance is bliss. So now, but here's the thing, though. Okay, so now we're looking at essentially when we break this thing down, and we're looking at a game being played. We're looking at a game being played. So we know, let's take any kid out your neighborhood. Like any of the kids, we're about to watch a bunch of videos, mostly from the drill rap scene and things like that. So now my thing is this. What amazed me, I had a dumb moment for the last couple of days, because I'm not about to, well, for the most part, I'm not about to show y'all anything you don't know already, for the most part. But it's the way in which it's hitting now is different for some reason. Like, these are these are babies. Like I can officially have that thought process now. I'm 45 years old, and these are like when you see these videos of how young they are. But the mentality, and now I flash back to me at 21 and 22. Whoa, I was so deadly. Oh, like, whoa, I was so. It's amazing to me trying to rekindle my 23-year-old mind frame. Oh my God. It wasn't much I wouldn't do to you. And it wasn't much I gave a fuck about either. And I didn't give a fuck about not giving a fuck. That was my specialty, actually. Not giving a fuck about giving a fuck was my motherfucking specialty. So now I look at these youngins and I see the only difference is when we say what's wrong with them, the only difference is they have more accessibility to act out their thoughts than we did. We was thinking the exact same shit they doing. Everything I see these youngins doing, I done either thought about, was about to do, or something called me off at the last minute from doing it, and some of it got done. And what was driving me, though? At the time, I didn't know. At the time, you know what I thought was driving me? This is the way gangsters behave. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, besides a fucking rapper, the only aspiration first when I was a kid, of course, I like all the black kids, I want to be an athlete, basketball or football player. But soon as that wore off, I had one goal. Gangster, drug lord, kingpin. I didn't give a shit about anything else. Wasn't even relevant to me. I thought anything other than trying to become a kingpin wasn't even logical for somebody like me. Now just imagine that type of pressure on a teenager, saying that the only thing that would properly fit me is to become some type of drug lord or kingpin, and understanding that murder and prison are an intricate part of this. And I was completely okay with both of them as a teenager. Murder and prison. I was completely okay with both of them as a teenager. See, we deal with so much stuff that we don't dissect. We deal with it, but we don't dissect it. What makes these children, and we can't even say young men no more after what I'm going to show y'all today. We've poisoned the women now, and we don't want to take credit for it. This young lady I'm about to show the video of, they said she's the number one female killer in the history of Chicago. She died at 17. I'm going to say this again. They say she is the number one hitter in the history, female hitter in the history of Chicago, and she died at 17. Do you know how many bodies you gotta get to have people feel like that about you? At 17? And here's the thing. I've had this debate several times with black folks, and I'm gonna say this respectfully or however it's taken. I wish I would grow the fuck up. I'm sorry, I'm sleepy, I'm cranky, so I'm probably gonna say some ill shit today. You forgive me or either you won't, but I'm gonna mean most of it, and I'm gonna make sure it's pretty real. Grow the fuck up. Stop saying stupid shit like rap music don't influence you. You sound dumb as hell. We sound dumb as fuck. A culture who all of the rap lyrics talk about objectifying women, drugs, and murder. Most of our culture is objectifying women, drugs, and murder. And we can't make a fucking connection to the point where we got to argue about it. Grow the fuck up. Mature. Do something. I don't know. But if you don't grow up, you're going to teach the same dumbass shit y'all be saying to me to your fucking children. And then we're the reason why these kids is like this. Because we want to be, instead of, see, I give our parents this much credit. Well, I give our parents a lot of credit. But they actually wanted to be good parents. We don't. We want to be bad bitches and real niggas and real gangsters. We don't want to be parents. We have children because black folks like kids. That's one thing I will always give us credit for. We love children, so we have them. But most of the time, we don't love the person we making a child with. Do you understand what you're creating? The most sacred bond on this planet is procreation. And I ain't gonna say y'all because I'm guilty. We procreate. We bring new life onto the planet, and we don't make it out of love. So when you're making a new life, you're creating a new life, you're mixing your energy with hers, your energy with his, to bring new life to the planet. And the people laying down, they don't love each other. They just love to fuck. Okay, well, that's the energy you're putting into your children. Accountability moment. I know y'all don't want to take it, but you're going to have to. It's going to be a lot of accountability tonight because everything I'm going to show you we're guilty for. It's our fault. I ain't blaming these babies for shit. I'm shocked and I'm sad and my heart hurt. It's our fault they behave the way you finna see tonight because it's gonna be tempted. Every fiber in your bone gonna be tempted to blame them. What's wrong with them? These little dudes crazy, man. Look at them. We wasn't like that. You're a liar. You're a motherfucking liar. And you're another liar. Ain't gonna be no lying tonight. Anybody say anything disrespectful about the children, fuck you. You're lying. It's your fault. It's our fault. Murder is a first hobby. They fucking love it. We have given birth to a generation of misogynist, homicidal serial killers. And we don't want to take the credit for it. We birthed a whole generation of motherfucking serial killers. And we got the nerve to say, we want to blame the white people. Look at these white boys. We don't kill like that. You a motherfucking lie. White boy plot, get 5-6 bodies. They call him a serial killer. We might get 5-6 bodies this month, and we call that being gangster. We have became that which we said we never would be. We are a generation of homicidal maniacs. We love it. All we talk about is sex, drugs, and murder. Look at the average black conversation. Look at the average conversation in our community. Look at the average rap video. Look at the average hood movie. Hulu is making, just like everything else, the white boy find a way to capitalize off our ignorance. So now here's what we do. We say Hollywood is rigged. They don't give us a chance. So we're going to create our own movie community. So what we start doing is we start going independent. We get that good old fashioned drug money. Because remember, we want to get out the ghetto. So here's how we get out the ghetto. We get some crack. That's the first way you got to get out the ghetto. You got to get some crack or some heroin. Now, you got to get a lot to the point where you get up to the point where you need to get to some kilos. Now, once you can get to some kilos, you can make the type of money that we consider freedom. Only problem is on the route to the kilos, you're going to have to kill black people. But you don't look at it like that. Because if you said it like that, it would be weird. So you have to say, we keeping it gangster. Anybody getting away, we putting them down. See, when you say it like that, I can respect that. When you say we get money and anybody standing in the way of my family or my money, I'm smoking their ass. Oh, well, when you say that, I can't argue with that because the man said anybody standing in the way of his family and his money, he gonna kill him. Okay, well, I feel that way too. So we justify it. What we're not telling is the whole route to this is crack, heroin, drugs, sex, money, murder. So the way we're going to protect our family is sex, money, murder. And in that, we're going to encourage everybody else to stay the fuck away from us or else. Okay, well, as you can see, this is a recipe for dead black bodies. This dumbass strategy has not worked since the breakdancing days. Since we thought we created our own thing out in the park, that shit that we created out in the park is responsible for the more dead black bodies than slave masters. How about that? You Negroes love to talk about slavery. Okay, well, here's a statistic for slavery. It's more black men right now incarcerated for killing other black men than it ever was slave masters ever on this planet. You will never have as many slave masters killing black people as we got black people killing black people. How about that? More people are incarcerated now than it was in actual slavery. There are more black men incarcerated for murder of other black men than it was slaves on the plantation. How about that? Is it possible to go that route without dealing? If you don't think music influences you, stop playing music for your mate and set the mood. Hey, music influences everything we do, and we too coward to admit it. But here's the thing: when we feeling aggressive, we put on that shit to make your head bop. When we getting ready to, like the guy just say, you want to be with your lady, you gonna put on something smooth, set the mood. Why? If music don't influence you, why you play slow music when you want to do it, pervert? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to fucking man up and woman up. You think that this music don't influence you, but everything that these heifers on these songs say, that's how you relate to your men. And you don't think it's a problem? You say the same shit to your man that Cardi B say to dude. Y'all regurgitate these dumbass lyrics. If you don't physically, you think it and you act it out. But we're not brave enough to admit that because there's an accountability space. And you know we hate that A word. Unless it's ass. Now we like that A word. But if it's an A with two S's, we going. If it's that A with two C's, count us out. We don't want no personal accountability. And that's the motherfucking problem. These children, this is some, I'm going to tell y'all, this is one of those, like I said, this is a dumb moment because I knew that these youngins was into it. Now, my thing is, I don't like rap music. I haven't really been a fan of. Now, I ain't gonna lie. To fix my to fill my void, I fuck with some battle rap. But to me, I'm into the artistry part, no beats, just the way they put the words together. And they got a clause that if they touch each other, nobody get paid. So I know at that rap battle, ain't nobody gonna die tonight. They gonna go rap, talk that shit, and go somewhere and pop bottles. I have not heard, and I've been fucking with it for only about 5 years. But in that 5 years, I haven't heard of nobody getting shot after a battle rap. Now, in the beginning, a couple people got knocked out in them. But now it's to the point where you can't touch each other at all. So it's like, hold on, y'all, it's getting hot. So, and now, that could be, and that still could be, I'm not giving myself no pass, that still could be justification on my behalf. But it's the way that I get my little fix without feeling too guilty. But now I seen the social media thing. And I said, this is rough. And see now, when you say this music don't influence us, they got this. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. It's this young lady. I think her name is Shakira. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but they call her nickname was Ki, and she was from Chicago, like I said, and then the one that they say was the number one female hitter in Chicago history. She died at 17. Now, guess what her nickname was? Her nickname was Snoop. Now, for those of y'all who seen The Wire, you know they had the and that was, I can't lie, that was my favorite character. Snoop in The Wire, the one that the female that was knocking people's shit back and was so heartless about it, her, Snoop was her name. Okay, this is what they used to nickname old girl from Chicago. Now, if I give you that nickname as a female, do you understand what that means? You have to turn, first of all, we always know the dynamics anytime a female enters what is considered an all-male arena. She's going to have to go 3 times as hard to prove herself. So she was running with the Gangster Disciples as a female. One of if not the oldest, one of the oldest gangs ever, and it never played. They never played. So you want to be a female there? Okay, well, in the deadliest city, you want to be a female hitter. In the deadliest city on the planet, you want to be a female hitter. I don't think y'all understand what's required to do that. And then to rise up the ranks and take over the squad. But I'm watching her and King Von tweeting back and forth. And I'm a woo-wee. Why y'all didn't tell me? And y'all sick. Y'all are some sick people. Like I said, I don't listen to it. So I don't know. I didn't know King Von was that. And y'all enjoyed that? Whew. I ain't even judging y'all. That's scary. That's scary that y'all liked him that much. He's one of the only, him and Dirk is one of the only people. Out of this shit be speculation. We hear these rappers talk that shit and we be like, yeah, it sound good. And we like to assume because we like him, he telling the truth. Then later on down the line, most of the time we figure out they lying. But y'all was physically watching and knowing he was telling the truth, and y'all was enjoying this little boy just drop bodies after bodies after bodies after bodies. I don't think we ever seen that in rap history before. A real live homicidal maniac, and he showcased it right in front of us. Unapologetic, right there. Oh, put it in his lyrics. It's like, I ain't know that shit. I don't know these young dudes. So when I hear them rap, I assume they just lying like everybody else be lying. I don't know them. I don't listen to the music. You know, I might hear it in passing. One of the kids got it on. I hear a name. I don't know who dude is. At the time when everybody was screaming Lil Durk, I know a little bit about him, you know, because I know a little bit about Chicago, but I didn't really know, like, man, so they on Twitter and they beefing and they telling each other what they doing to each other, and then they doing it and tweeting it. And it's like, it's no fucking way the feds didn't know this was happening. So the feds are literally watching gang wars unfold over social media and don't say nothing and just let the bodies fall. And then come do investigations and let the people who the whole streets are saying guilty, let them go free. Which means they're complicit in this scenario. So before we get into that, I want to make a point, and then we're gonna get to the good part. And we're gonna deal with this Thursday. I'm gonna tell y'all now, and it ain't for the faint of heart. And it's the first time I ever said this, publicly, privately, or anywhere. This is the first time I ever said this. Thursday, that piece of shit Tupac Shakur, we're gonna get inside of his shit and pull it apart. He was a motherfucking monster, and he is not who y'all thought. And he's responsible for every little black body you see dropping, in my motherfucking opinion. And I know that's a harsh indictment, and I know I may be the only person on the planet that feels that way. I don't give a fuck. It's how I feel. You can't look at anybody who considers themselves a thug or a gangster in the last 25 years that is not using Tupac's blueprint. Show me one, and I'll take it back. Show me one rapper that is considering himself a thug or a gangster that is not 100% taking the Tupac blueprint. When we ride on our enemies, you telling me that energy that he brought on Hit 'Em Up ain't what you see all over the world right now with young black men? You telling me you don't see that everywhere now? If they used to call them La Cosa Nostra, if they had a problem with you, you just went outside to walk the doggy one day and never came home. Nobody tweeted about it. Nobody told you you fucked up, we want to kill you. Because had we said that, you would have hid. So not only that, the whole point was to get away with the crime, not give hints. So the old mafiosos and the old street dudes and the old early gangbang, it was about like making you feel like, okay, it's cool, never mind. And then knocking your shit back at a more convenient time where it didn't ruffle no feathers and we could actually get away with it. And nobody bragged about. So like when you see this back and forth and all of them are doing it, they're going to war on Twitter. Y'all finna see these tweets. It's going to blow your fucking mind back. They're literally tweeting about they're going to kill each other and saying who they're going to kill. And then after they catch the person they're looking for, they tweet back how they got the guy. And then the other team tweet back like, okay, one for y'all, we're going to get you back. And then it happens. And this shit went on for years. Them back and forth tweeting they're going to murder each other, then doing it, and then going back. And it's like, what the fuck is really going on with this shit? And it's all started with Hit 'Em Up. Now, I would be lying if I say men didn't have controversy in hip hop before that. Because we had, if I'm being fair, we had Ice Cube and them with the No Vaseline, Ice Cube and NWA. So that probably was the catalyst. But most people don't even remember that. Most people reference the greatest diss track in hip-hop history is Hit 'Em Up. Most people say the greatest rapper in hip-hop history is probably Tupac. Okay. It's who's the best, Tupac or Biggie? So now, When he come with the hit him up, he talk about having sex with the man wife. He talk about bad boy killer. Now, when we hear that, we got to put that into perspective. The most powerful rapper on the planet, the most loved black male figure on the planet, is screaming bad boy killer, West Side. Well, that would imply that when we see anybody from Bad Boy, we killing them. That's what that would imply. Now, if that's the implication and that's what you're screaming, then the next question is, before he left the planet, how many Bad Boy members did Tupac kill? For anybody that's struggling, I'll help you. None. They roughed up a couple, but he didn't kill any. Bad boy killer, Jay-Z died too. Looking out for Mobb Deep, nigga, when I find you, weak motherfuckers don't deserve to breathe. So believe me, we enemies. Bad boy killer, Jay-Z can die too. I'm looking out for Mobb Deep, niggas, when I find you. Weak motherfuckers don't deserve to breathe. So believe me, we enemies. That's what was considered the greatest rapper said. And when he said it, he had fly jewelry on, Rolex watch, blunt in his mouth, tatted on his whole body. Okay, well, I could turn on any rap video right now and see that exact same image. Counting money, fly jewelry, riding on your enemies. Pac taught us how to do that. Only he wasn't really doing it like that, though, because he didn't kill any Bad Boy members. He was a rapper / actor. Now, did he do certain things? Yes, because I am told that he did do some killing. And I'm going to share that source with y'all Thursday. I got a lot of dirt on Mr. Machiavelli. But that ain't what tonight is about. Tonight is about he misled the generations 30 years later is still suffering from his blueprint. And we say he's the greatest rapper of all time. And 30 years later, our children, we have produced a whole generation of little Tupacs. Angry, vengeful, mad at the world because your daddy ain't there and gonna ride on anybody for the boys. Pretend to be a sweetheart to the women, but we really just want to fuck them bitches. We got all that from Tupac. You wonder why they call you a bitch. So now we could justify why we talk to the sisters like that. You earned this title. So we're going to call you a bitch because you earned it. And they had to accept, they had to eat that. So we just start calling them bitches and they had to eat that. So then what they do? I might be a bitch, but I'm a bad bitch. She flipped it. So now she can justifiably be a bitch like we justifiably can be a nigga. And everybody's okay now. Now it's bad bitches and niggas. Because the greatest rapper of all time did that for us. That's what he did for us. And now the bad bitches and the real niggas got together off of those shots of Alizé and Hennessy. And we made a generation of what did he have around his neck? Damien, the angel of death. We made a whole generation of offspring of bad bitches and real niggas. Well, bad bitches and real niggas birth demons. Because a bad bitch is a spirit. And a real nigga, those are energies. Those are not real things. Those are energies that we created and gave life to. So if you create and give life to something, life begets more life. So if we birth that energy, the energy ain't going to die. Everything wants to exist. So for its existence, that energy spread it. so it can multiply itself like we all want to do. What do? You have children to multiply yourself. Everybody wants to exist. Everything is alive. So we created an energy that is now alive and it wants to live. Bad bitches and real niggas make demons. Because those are not babies created out of love. And if you're not making a baby out of love, then you're mixing demonic energies to recreate life. We don't want to take it that deep. Why? Because that's that A with the double C word. That's more accountability. We don't like that. Let's go back to talking about the kids fucking up. We ain't here to talk about the parents today, right? Right. Check. Bad bitches and real niggas. He did this to us. And I can't say he did it on purpose. But I could say he was evil way before we met him. By the time you seen Tupac, he was already their monster. That's the part you don't get. We think soon as we see somebody, that's the beginning of their career. Even though most artists come tell us that they was doing shit for 7-8 years before they got discovered. Because you have to you have to earn your way to the industry. You have to do something for them to move your name to the top of the charts. It don't just go to the top of the charts because people love your music. People can only love your music if we allow them to hear it. That wasn't the internet era. The only way you can do that. The only way. Hold on, Daniel. Right. You gonna make me fuck up Thursday. Put that on pause. Hold on, family. Pac stood up for somebody who was getting abused by the police in real time. Him doing that is all that matters in my eyes. I don't think he should be taken away for what other people do. Okay. I don't know how much of the conversation you heard, and this is the space that I'm talking about. This is the accountability space. I'm talking about a whole generation of poison, and you want to bring up one incident. Pac was raised by Black Panthers, so he had love in his heart for Black people. So what he did on that day, I commend that. That's not what I'm talking about, though. I'm talking about poisoning a generation. I'm not talking about one incident where he did the right thing. I got one incident where I did the right thing, but I got 10 that I tell you about that's kind of embarrassing. So what I'm saying is, if we're going to grow and get healthy, we have to be willing to cross the line. We want to stay in bounds because it's safe. Fuck staying in bounds. Let's cross the line and get to the real space. The real space is, how did he get in that space? You can't just get in that space. And like I said, Thursday, we're going to deal with it. I got receipts. And Daniel, right, you should know me by now. We don't agree on a lot of things, but the one thing you do know is I come with receipts. So if I come out here and say I never said this before, and then I say something ill like that about Pac, anybody who really know me gotta know I got some ill shit. You with me, but you think I'm wrong about that part. I respect that. And here's what I say. I know you to be a logical thinking man. And I'm willing to bet you $50 after Thursday you don't feel the same. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to put $50 on the line for you, Daniel, right? That after Thursday, if you stick through the whole thing Thursday night, I guarantee the mentality of the receipts is what's off. Look, I ain't gonna sidetrack the conversation because now you're about to take us somewhere else. You said the receipt's not valid. Well, if proof is not valid, then what's the purpose of proof? It shouldn't exist. If proof doesn't set the record straight, it shouldn't exist. If information ain't really currency, then I have to retract my final statements because I thought the way you get answers to things is by obtaining the proper information. And once I obtain the proper information, do I then turn it off and say, no, I didn't see what I just saw because of how I feel? Am I allowed to turn off what I see because of how I feel? Or is what I see, does that have, at what point does what I see supersede how I feel? That's a space that Black America has to deal with. At what point do the mentality of the receipts, but we will chop it up, finish your show, because I do listen. Well, this is part of the show, but thank you, brother. What I'm saying is, you just used the word mentality. My entire discussion is about the mentality. So what I'm accusing him of is implementing a mentality in Black America. So let's look. You can look at all through Black American history and see that just like any other race, we've always been influenced by certain heroes. Okay, so when you look at the generation and the age group of our, when you look at the generation in our age group, and then you realize who our heroes was, you can look at where society went. That's all you got to do. So you look at the era in which Tupac came up in. You look at what was going on before he made his impact and what was going on after. What I need you to do is, before Tupac Shakur became famous, I need you to show me what rapper had his whole body tatted. See, these are the things. This whole look at me laughing at my competition, flashing my jewelry. This whole it's a mentality that got implemented, and you're gonna see it in these children. I'm finna tap into some of these videos and let y'all see. Y'all gonna see the mentality in these children. You're gonna see it in the lyrics. Okay, we know prior to the NWA and the Pac era, you know, it was a lot of commercial rap was what was popping. Once, hold on one second, y'all. I can't get the right angle on the fan, baby. So the commercial side of things was popping. Once we get away from that, the majority of pop music was even all positive, some manhood shit. He mixed that bullshit and other after he took the oath for the Illuminati. Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like about Daniel. All you gotta do is just give him a minute. He come around. See, I ain't even have to say much, and you just made everything right. You said he took the oath of the Illuminati, meaning he joined the Illuminati. That's your opinion. Okay, well, why would a man who joined the Illuminati come up with an album called Kill the Illuminati? See, that's what I'm saying. These Negroes be playing us. They be playing games with us. When you go look at some of his poses and his pictures, he been down with them. Ain't no join. You don't become the #1 rapper in America and you haven't joined yet. Why the fuck would we give you that? So we were getting played from the jump. We just didn't know it. And that's the case with all of these rappers. We're getting played and we just don't know it. But the problem is, I'm not even blaming them. I'm not even really blaming Pac. He poisoned generations. 2 generations. The last 2 generations he poisoned. He's guilty of that. But he's not the beginning of the problem. It's a societal thing, because we can never forget the mechanism in which we're committed to. We're a part of a mechanism, and it has to. We just seen that with that clone Tyrone. They have manufactured and structured what we call the hood and the ghetto. It's a working mechanism that they control. They explain that to you in the movie if you was paying attention. A lot of y'all thought that meant Negroes ain't taking enough responsibility, but they showed you that in Boys in the Hood. So we definitely just got to realize that it's a mechanism that we're dealing with. That's the biggest fault, is the mechanism. But we got to get into our portion of the responsibility part for this mechanism, because we're birthing our children with the wrong ideologies in mind. And we don't even got our mind right. So we're bringing children into a world that we don't really understand and expecting them to understand it. It's so many things that you should know before you make children. I didn't know most of them. So, and I'm quite sure a lot of people like that. That's the initial problem. So he was born in duress in the first place. We hear about the fucked up childhood, his mama in prison and all that shit. She was going through a lot of bullshit already. So it's a lot of key factors in there. But he gonna get this smoke. Thursday, he gonna get this smoke. Now let's get to Shakira. Because this is, we might not even, now we ain't even gonna be able to watch this whole thing with her. I want to get to these tweets though. Let me see, which one is it? I gotta find it.
These first. Are King Von's.
No, that's him. That dude is an animal. I didn't even know he was like that. I'm telling y'all, anybody who was listening to him on a regular, you bogus. And that's another thing too. I'm gonna deal with it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spend this next season beating up y'all heroes because I see it's necessary. Y'all got these heroes y'all like and people can't touch them. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of them. I'm beating up LeBron. He gonna get it. LeBron gonna get it. Pop gonna be the first. And in my series of beating up on y'all heroes, exposure time, Pop gonna get it first. He gonna set the trend, and I'm gonna beat him up so bad, y'all not gonna never doubt me again. When I get through showing y'all who Pop really is, and I'm gonna show you. We're not gonna speculate. I ain't gonna fuck around. I'm gonna show you. And then after that, that's gonna set the tone for everybody else who next gonna get it. I done already beat up King so many times, ridiculous. But that showed me right there. I beat him up every year, and y'all still argue that. But we gonna get into some of these fake ass heroes y'all got. Yeah, some of these alliance, these groups y'all got, these Moors and these Israelites. Yeah, I'm gonna take a week and just deal with everybody. Everybody gonna get a week, their own week. This is something I'm doing. I'm in a giving mood. I got the giving spirit. Y'all holiday seasons is coming around. So I'm going to be giving for the holiday. I'm going to be giving your heroes ass whoopings all the way to the first of this fake ass year. That's what you could expect from me. I'm finna fuck up everybody because y'all play too much. LeBron fucking James. And this is the thing. Every time I tweet something about him, y'all break y'all neck to save him. I tweeted something about them people failing at their goddamn school. I heard crickets all goddamn day. People started trying to get jazzy a little bit this afternoon, but y'all didn't want to touch that. All the black children failed in his school. You couldn't stop talking about them building it. Why we can't talk about the children failing in that motherfucker? Because y'all idol worship. Y'all got heroes and you can't let them go. I'm a behead all of them. Fuck them.
These are the most.
Damn. I know. Don't tell me I ain't get the. I don't even think I got the one I want the most. Oh my God.
Chicago saw one of its most violent weekends of the year.
That shit happen all the time. Fuck it now. The one I really wanted was the one with the young lady. Oh my God, I don't know how I did that. I want y'all to see these tweets. It's so many tweets with them going back and forth. It's ridiculous. Especially her and Vaughn. And this dude, now I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm glad I didn't play that video. That video when he was in jail talking to homosexual shit. Because there's a part of me that still believes that was in there, but that ain't the focal point. I see how his mind worked. He was different, bro. He was different. He was pure D. You ever seen something pure evil? He was pure evil. And he was charismatic. So what he was doing with his number one enemy, he was flirting with her. Like they was literally at war every week. One week he killed one of her people. The next week she killed one of his people. And in between that, he was tweeting her. Talking about when we gonna get some action together. I really like you. When this war is over, I think we could really be something. And at first she was ignoring him. And then after a while, it got to a point where she kind of was starting to just have real conversations with him. And then the guys was like, he be like showing them, like, look at this dumb bitch. I got her. She really think I like her. I'm gonna kill this bitch. I'm gonna get her. To even have the audacity to, when he got locked up, he told his sister to tweet and tell her, come see me. Then when he got out, he said, babe, why you ain't come see me? You said you was going to come see a nigga. Then he spelled come the nasty way. And he the one got her. And he tweeted about it. So how They're tweeting back and forth. And he's saying, he got one tweet where he say he don't be hanging with this one guy because he can't catch up. He's still behind. Give him till Friday. He talking about bodies. They was having a contest who could get the more bodies. Dude was like a body or two ahead of him. So he said he can't hang out with dude because dude two ahead of him. He can't hang out with dude until he catch up. Give him till Friday. On Twitter, right there. They going live on Instagram. We over here showing the choppers and all that shit. They kill people, take the gun, and then have the gun of the dude that they killed in the new video. She died at 17. So she was doing this shit at 13 and 14, 15, 16. That when she started banging. A little girl. And she was completely with the shits. She used to get on a bike, ride through their hood and antagonize them. Then bit back around the corner, knock somebody's head off and go tweet and tell them, I just caught your boy. They caught her on the train and stomped her out one day and then went and tweet about it. Then she responded like, yeah, my head a little fucked up, but I got something for you. My 40 Glock ain't gonna play with you. A week or two later, she dropped one of their people. And tweeted about it. Do y'all not understand this shit? These is babies murdering and bragging and tweeting about it. Then when they caught her main man, they said they put him in a blunt and smoking him, and that turned into the #1 saying in America. So when you kill one of the dead homies, you say we smoking him. His name was Tuka. They be tweeting talking about we smoking on that Tuka today. And everybody knew what they was talking about. So if the police didn't, then you're not fit to be the fucking FBI. You're idiots. They had to know. This man been brought in several times for questioning. He's skeeting every time. But the streets know who did shit and they talk. If the streets know, the feds know.
More than
most disrespectful moment. And first up, we gotta talk about Vine disrespecting FBG Wooski. Because back in the day, Wooski was walking on King Drive, his ops territory, and some O-Block members were standing outside. Police were also nearby, so nobody wanted to let off shots since they automatically would have got booked. So instead of doing that, King Vine and Wooski walked up to each other and started hands. Other O-Block members jumped in since they wanted to do Wooski bad. And things got so bad that the police eventually had to go over there and break everything up. And a few years after all of this, Vine talked about it on his Instagram Live when a troll mentioned Wooski's name.
This say she love Wooski. We don't even know no more Wooski. It's slow. Hey, Wooski ain't tell y'all beat ass one day. He ain't tell y'all that. He too dumb to even remember. I would punch ass up.
But Wooski said differently in an interview with Cam Capone News because he claims he was doing Vine bad in the fight.
Standing right there, and the police just pulled up, and they thought they was just gonna stand right there. We got the whooping their.
After the interview hit the net, many O-Block members said Wooski was capping and didn't beat Vine up. Shoebox Baby said only guys that got touched up bad that day. Another member said that Wooski threw a brick in the fight. But that ain't the only time Vine disrespected Wooski. Since I'm back again, he raps. Bet Wooski feel this one. I bet Wooski still twitching. He changed. Something different. Here, he was making fun of Wooski over a dark incident that had happened to him. Because on the day before Dooski's funeral, O-Block members were seen FaceTiming Wooski and letting him know they had a surprise for him. So the day of Dooski the Man's funeral was tense, since everyone knew that something could happen at any moment. And it turned out to be true, because when Wooski stepped outside during the funeral to smoke a cigarette, 4 men in hoodies ran up and sprayed the church up. Wooski was hit in the head, and 5 other people leaving the building after the service were also hit.
This afternoon, there were a total of 6 people who were shot outside the church. There was a pandemonium, a scene of pandemonium right after that happened.
Thankfully, no one died in this situation. And even though Wooski survived the shooting, the injury was so bad, he had no choice but to leave the streets alone for a little while. But Vaughn didn't care and continued dissing Wooski on social media, saying the shooting changed him into a, and that Wooski didn't want to diss him anymore.
Super gangster cause he ugly. Got shot in his head, so now he's stupid, slow, they think that's savage. Man, don't nobody get shot in the head, that's goofy.
But if you thought Vaughn disrespected Wooski a lot, what he did to Tuka was way worse, because he dissed him in multiple songs. Since in a song with Slim Santana, he says, "Caught that boy right by that bus. This is last stop." But Vaughn could also be referring to Lil Mark, who was Tuka's brother, because 2 years after what happened to Tuka, something similar happened to Lil Mark, because on March 28th, 2014, Lil Mark was shot at a bus stop on the south side of Chicago. And one witness said that a man pulled up and opened fire. And after shooting Lil Mark, he fled away in a minivan. Police later found the van burning in flames. But Vaughn also threw shots at Tuka in another song, saying, "Tuka in my lung." I say that every time, because he got smoked. But it doesn't stop there, because there are even a ton of clips of Vaughn trolling and dissing Tuka online, like these.
You shot Tuka? Say Tuka, man. Shoot him again. Shoot him in his head.
So look, my question for the day is, what is your message to your first buddy?
Tuka, let me get it now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Tuka.
Yeah.
And all of the disrespect made people wonder why Vaughn hated Tuka so much. And after dissing him so much, Tuka became a meme on the internet and got to the point where Tuka's mother spoke on the situation, saying she wanted people to stop disrespecting her son.
When you hear people say they're smoking on your son, Tuka.
Oh, it makes me upset because, I mean, where do the level of disrespect stop?
Now, let's move on to the time King Von disrespected Lil J, because recently, clips have been getting leaked of King Von and some of his ops in Cook County Jail. And one clip went viral where Von asked the guards to move him into protective custody. Many people say he was doing this since he didn't want to be on the same deck as Lil J, since Von told the guards that Lil J is very sus. And at first, not a lot of people believed Von, since Lil J would always deny the rumors.
Messing with a guy. Let's clear the air on that too. That's like the number one thing people
When
want to
I
talk
heard
about.
it was the most goofy that I ever heard in my life. And I knew it had to come from somebody goofy or something. Never played my name like that, man.
But the truth came out once the clip leaked of Lil J letting a guy sit in his lap and kiss him. And after this clip hit the net, many people said King Von was right this whole time. And even some of Lil J's own gang members were clowning him after seeing that clip.
Let me see you juke. That boy having a juke party on the whole in the Cook County. Sitting on his lap.
That means that you'll take that to anybody, given the time and the place. You the booty man.
No, booty man, bro.
That's the booty man.
The booty
and like,
man.
The way he grabbed that man, that like he needed booty more than life itself, gang.
Then, speaking of those jail clips, it's also another incident that got leaked where King Von got very disrespectful with one of his ops in jail, because all of the inmates were in a holding cell. And while in the cell, King Von spotted his op, 051 Freaky. So he slipped out of handcuffs, went over to the corner, and started whooping Freaky, since he had a tattoo saying F L.A. Capone. But it didn't last long, since the police broke everything up and put Von back into handcuffs. Now let's move on to when King Von straight up disrespected K.I., since in exposing me, he rapped.
Now y'all see that he was in the bullpen. He seen a tattoo on dude. He went to the corner. Somebody helped him slip out his cuffs. And dude still had his cuffs on. And he beat the fuck out of dude while dude was in handcuffs until the police came and stopped it. The dude was pure evil, man. He was pure evil. And he's saying he don't want to be around dude because dude be with that funny shit. He also was saying he want to suck some D and all that type of shit. So King Von was on tape talking about he want to get moved somewhere else because of his sexual preference, and he sucking D, and he was saying some super gay shit. Now, I just said I wasn't gonna deal with that today because I ain't want to get off track, but he definitely was in there saying some gay shit just like dude. But either way it go, look how disrespectful how they put this shit right in the lyrics, do it, then put it in the lyrics. Like, fuck it.
I swear I killed her, broke her back. King Von refers to K.I., a feared Chirac assassin and member of STL, and she was highly respected among her gang members and almost feared by all the ops, except for King Von. Because in 2012, King Von and Chicago gang member K.I. were in some serious beef, and they wanted to get to each other badly. And the day would finally come on September 25th, 2012, because K.I. had caught the train to go somewhere, and while on the train, she spotted King Von, one of her main ops. And the time they saw each other, things were on sight. Von punched K.I. in the face multiple times and did her very bad. And a few hours later, once Von got home, he went to Twitter and explained how things went down. Because he made a tweet saying, "I've died, get whooped on the train lacking. Think about it." K.I. acknowledged what happened with a tweet and said, "My arm up my ear, and I got a bruise on my face." K.I. followed that tweet and said, "Ain't got but a bruise on my face, but ain't tripping that 40 cal, put a hole in that opera's face." But things ain't in there, since on April 11th, 2014, K.I. was going to one of her friends' houses for a birthday party around 3:30 p.m. when Von and Big A, another O Block member, caught her lacking and started firing. She died on the scene at just 17.
Okay, now hold on. They not doing the story justice because they making Von look superior. Shorty gave them the blues. That little young lady was giving his ass nightmares. I'm telling you, he was tweeting back and forth with her. They was tweeting back and forth for at least a year, just going back and forth. But she was giving them nightmares. She matched him body for body. Every time they dropped one of her people, within the next week or two, one of their people dropped. She was going back and forth with him. That's what they not telling. Right after they did that shit to her on the train, she killed one of them. Right after they did that to her on the train, she killed one of them. And then she tweeted about it. And then that's why I wanted the one. I can't believe I didn't send that one. That was the most important one, man. That's the one I really was going to play and we was going to go back and forth on because it had all the tweets and everything. I'm sorry, y'all. But she hit one of them. She tweeted about it. Then he hit one of them. And they was tweeting back and forth. And then he went to jail. He went to jail for like a year and a half. And while he was in jail, that's when he told her to come see him. She just said LOL and didn't respond. Then when he got out, he asked her why she didn't come see him. And then she said LOL again. And then she said, "How I feel to know why you was sitting in there worried about me. Your man was out here getting his head knocked off or some shit like that." And then he didn't respond. She turned it up a notch. He say RIP whoever that is. And then she retweet RIP. She was on their heels, bro. Now, she fucked up. That's when he caught her. After a lot of bodies, like a lot of people got killed in this war, bro. And then she fucked up. And they was throwing a party for one of the dead homies. And she tweeted where they was at. That's what she fucked up at. She put the address out there. And then they was already riding when she said the address, they just went straight to the address. And then he parked around the way and he walked through the gang. Y'all know Chicago got a lot of gangways. He walked through the gangway and then it was some people there. He told the people move and got the people out the way. And then he came up and then he went to one of the guys and he walked up on one of the guys and he was like, "Don't make a move. Don't make no expression. Don't say shit after I tell you what I'm finna tell you." And he was like, "All right." And he was like, "I just got her." Instantly, he knew who she took because it's only one her they want. And they wanted her, bro. They wanted her bad. Like, trust me. She was giving them the blues. They was getting so frustrated because she was on a bike picking their ass off. And so he was like, "I got her." He was like, I walked up on him. And everybody tried to run, and I caught her ass trying to run through the gangway, and I got her. And dude said, soon as he told me that, I heard the ambulance sirens, and we seen the truck go around the corner to where he said he just came from. So, and then they went straight and threw a party and started tweeting about it. Instantly after he did it, he started tweeting about it and threw a party and shit. So ain't no way these fucking police don't know what the fuck going on. But I just want to say, like, that young lady, she said towards the end, she started putting compassion in her tweets about like what was wrong with her. How she don't her nightmares. Oh, that's what she say. Her nightmares be haunting her. She said she barely sleep because it be demons all in her sleep. And then she say something like, I don't know what happened. Positive, I would have turned out different if I had a father. She was tweeting this type of shit. Them is cries for help, bro. There's somebody who know like something wrong with me. Like I'm a little girl. I ain't even supposed to be a young lady, and all she think about is murder. You understand? Like for men, we got testosterone. It don't take much for us to go to the dark side. But for that feminine energy to turn so dark to all it desire is murder. That's different, bro. That's different. That's different. That shit made my heart hurt when I seen how she was. And what you see all of these youngsters doing, and y'all keep talking about ain't no influence. They riding around and they all want to be rappers. They all trying to start record label shit. They was rappers. And another part that was fueling her was she couldn't understand why they was dropping just as many bodies, why her clique couldn't get the notoriety that Von then was getting on the music side. Well, because you gotta let somebody gang rape you. That probably wasn't your thing back then. It's just sad, y'all. I don't know, man. It's just sad. Look at these lyrics. Look at how they just murder. Like, do you understand? These are teenagers. So they're not waking up. They don't want to go to football practice. They're not looking for the cute girl in class. They're waking up to have murder contests. To have zero value in existence just to say, we finna. And we think this ain't got nothing to do with the fact that they don't got fathers.
And back in 2021, the Chicago Police Department named Von as the offender who shot at K.I. And Von has referred to her many times in his songs because in War With Us, he says, put a pretty up in the morgue, call that drop dead gorgeous. And Von used to troll K.I. and call,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Am I the only one that fucked with? Like, God. I put a pretty young B in the morgue. We call that drop dead gorgeous. What make you think you could do that and then rap about it? Like murder is legal. What would make somebody think they could murder somebody and then rap about it?
since he wanted to get close to her so he could set her up. And she most likely knew this since she was never down to meet with King Von. And one of K.I.'s friends interviewed for a documentary about her and said that K.I. felt Von was doing that to try and set her up.
Really liked her. And he was like, well, she too pretty for that, and tell her to stop gang banging, you know.
He liked her as a girlfriend?
Yeah, he wanted to be her boyfriend. She just felt like he was trying to set her up and kill her. That's what she told me. She's like, I think he just trying to kill me. He don't like me. What's the like?
And K.I. started her assassin career after wanting to get revenge for the death of her close friend Tuka. This led her to shoot Odie Perry, a member of O-Block. So it makes sense why she thought Von wanted to set her up. And in the same interview, Von spoke about his situation with K.I.
We talk on the phone, like that's somebody, like say somebody you DM and talking to, and then one day they just gone. Now you like, damn, who the f I'm gonna talk to now?
Impressing with Sada, Baby Von said they called that Brick and hit him in his. Brick is an FBG member who was gunned down back in 2017, along with Kobe Mack on 63rd St. Lawrence. The police found one of them with a wound to the head, lying in front of a house, and the second victim with wounds to the back and arm behind the house. They were both pronounced dead. FBG Brick was a brother to FBG Duck, another rapper King Von has humiliated multiple times. Because in a song named GTA, Von said he made a diss and now he a ghost, and it happened fast. And FBG Duck was a well-known Chicago drill rapper.
Bro, are y'all counting? I done counted like 5 or 6 just on this little clip. How was this little dude allowed to murder like that and rap about it? And they play. I'm hearing it from the sideline about FBG Duck, and I'm thinking it's an unsolved murder. Everybody know who the fuck killed them. So this dude was just murdering and rapping about it. I think it's, I don't know, man. It's a disconnect in this space to understand, like, because 90% of the people on the planet have never killed anyone, just so we're clear on that. Murder is only common amongst who is common amongst, but most people have never killed anyone. So all we got as a reference point is television. So in television, it doesn't do it much justice because people say something fancy, pull the trigger, and we get excited. But you have to understand that we all come from a universal consciousness, so it's programmed within you to have compassion for life. So the first time you remove a life from this planet, you'll instantly get sick. Most people, as soon as they kill somebody, they throw up. So to be able to kill on a regular basis in your teenage years and then make party music about it, that's pure evil. But we want to point evil at everybody else. That's pure evil. To target someone, murder them, and then make fun of them publicly. That's not normal. And normal people are physically incapable of what I just said. Target someone for a killing, actually kill them, then make fun of them publicly, repeatedly. Normal people can't do that.
Vine's most known ops, because he and Vine used to always send shots at each other. But not long after Duck dropped his song, Dead, dissing all of O-Block's fallen ones, it made them want to get rid of him ASAP, since it was one of the most disrespectful songs ever. And a month later, while FBG Duck was shopping, 2 vehicles pulled up near him and started opening fire. Duck had taken multiple shots and was later pronounced dead at the hospital. But Vine hasn't only had beef with Chicago rappers, because he also had problems with YB. Because back in 2020, Vine and Youngboy began beefing after a clip surfaced on the internet when Vine was listening to Youngboy on Instagram saying how Youngboy caps in his rap.
Youngboy talking about on this song, bro.
What? That's one of the only people that got away from him. And I think because that little dude is evil as fuck. Well, I ain't no think he's evil as fuck too and dysfunctional. I seen him. He's possessed by a demon. Well, they both were. They both were. I've seen Youngboy mid-conversation when his eyes roll back into his head and you see nothing but the whites while he's talking to you. He'll be in a conversation, having a simple conversation, and he'll completely go somewhere else. He ain't right up there either. And I can guarantee you he got a lot of bodies. And yeah, look at the YN Melly dude. Now, we seen him in the video with Vine, and we seen him, he's on trial for murdering his best friends to get on. And he just got a hung jury, which means he's about to come home again. They're about to set that demon loose. Y'all look at his videos. You ever watch the YN Melly video? That shit is so evil, wicked. He got a video that scared me. And I like that. Think about what I did. He got one video that scares the shit out of me. I don't know what the fuck going on. That shit like a horror movie. That shit like Rosemary's Baby or some shit. It's bloody white women in sheets and oh, it's okay. It's creepy than a motherfucker. I dare you to watch that video alone with the lights out type shit. You guys, what is happening to these youngsters? Because if we're not going to point no fingers, we got to assess something. How did we get 2 generations of young black men who don't value anything but dead white people on money? Yeah, he just told the little boy, that's somebody they had killed already. They had already shot him in the head. So he was just making fun of him, and he got the little boy doing it. And so, like, everything is energy, and we don't understand the energy that we be putting in these children. And so now, here's the thing. Dirk found him and snatched him up. So here's a young man who's becoming famous in your city for dropping bodies. And then you think, I need that little nigga rapping with me. Hell yeah. And then you get with him and y'all start a murder spree.
Respectful rap lyrics that really happened. Starting with the bar from Spinner Benz. Because on Who I Smoke, he says, 12 paramedics couldn't save your life, boy. Rod K dead, and he never coming back, boy. Left this in the street. This is the end of your life, boy. Who I Smoke was one of the most disrespectful songs of all time. And in this bar, Spinner Benz is referring to the passing of 22-year-old Jacksonville rapper Rod K. Rod K was a rapper associated with Fulio and his KTA gang. He had just started rapping a few months before he passed. I was going crazy in Jacksonville. The rapper was shot and passed outside the Hilltop Village apartments on November 20th, 2020. Paramedics arrived on the scene around 4:30 p.m. and found 2 victims in the parking lot. Originally, they reported that the wounds weren't life-threatening, but Rod would eventually pass away. So this is what Spinner Benz is talking about when he raps 12 paramedics who couldn't save your life. Rod K's death came just a day after the death of another KTA affiliate, Spaz, 2 times, and he died at the same place Rod K died at. Fulio's younger brother, Bibby, also passed away at the same apartments. And Jacksonville rapper Queso talked very disrespectful about Bibby in multiple songs. But in Queso, he says Bibby had a closed casket. I wasn't surprised. Bibby was hanging out with a friend outside of the Hilltop Apartments back in February 2019. But out of nowhere, 2 men jumped out of a vehicle and started firing in their direction. 2 boys ran in different directions, with Bibby being chased down, and they shot him to death as he tried to shield himself. The friend survived, and police later recovered more than 45 shell casings from a rifle. Not long after Bibby's death, Queso started dissing him in all of his songs to disrespect him. He even went so far and used a picture of Bibby on his album cover. And he was non-stop with the dissing, since almost every post he made was a diss towards Bibby.
Smoking on. We're smoking Bibby. Yeah, all day, you know. And you know we smoke little Bibby. But I put that on Bibby cremated. I run that gym, bro. That cremated.
All the dissing drew attention from local news outlets and police. So Queso was eventually charged with the death of Bibby after being arrested for allegedly taking the life of another one of Fulio's friends named Lil Buck, and he's still fighting those cases. And things aren't looking the best for Queso in this case, since Queso's dad is telling investigators that Queso was the one who murdered Lil Buck.
Senior told the state attorney's office that his son, Hakeem Robinson, posted on Instagram an incriminating message after McCormick was murdered.
All of the stories on the story saying that kill and get his toes done.
And was that depicting Hakeem Robinson?
Yes, sir.
But that wasn't as disrespectful as what Wooski said in Computers, because he says Phonem stood over J Money and put 4 in his grill. Now go ask Lil Boo how that hot feel. HK got caught trying to pump fake and forgot on his heels. FBG Wooski is a rapper from the STL/EBT set of the GDs, and he's one of the O-Block's main ops and is known for beefing with rappers like Lil Durk and King Von. J Money was a BD from O-Block. Before his death, he was one of O-Block's top shooters. J Money was killed on September 2nd, 2013, which was Labor Day weekend. Rumors say he was set up by a female who convinced him to link up with her in the ops territory. When he got to her spot, he saw 2 ops and instantly knew it was a setup. He tried running away, but wasn't fast enough and got hit in the head and body. After J Money died, Durk and other O-Block members mourned his death on social media. Now let's move on to Lil Boo, since Wooski also dissed him in that song. Lil Boo was a Team 600 member and one of the gang's founders. Lil Boo taught a lot of the younger gang members how to move in the streets and do drills. Lil Boo had several bodies and was a huge problem to his ops. But Lil Boo ended up getting locked up between 2012 and 2014, which made it hard for his ops to get him. But on April 3rd, 2015, Lil Boo was walking down the street when a car pulled up beside him. A passenger hopped out and started firing Lil Boo multiple times. He was rushed to the hospital where he died at 22 years old. HK is another one of Wooskie's ops he dissed in the song, and many believe that Wooski was somehow involved. HK's death was a major loss to O-Block, but at first, HK wasn't in the streets until his brother T-Roy died. Because T-Roy was King Von's best friend, and they would always go on drills with each other. But on February 15th, 2017, T-Roy was out looking for a rapper named TB from Taekwon World, and T-Roy was out by himself that night and walked into a store trying to hunt TB down. But while he was in the store, he got spotted by FBG Brick, Duck's older brother. Since Brick was cool with TB, he told him that T-Roy was inside the store. T-Roy tried leaving the store, but things didn't go as planned since TB came inside the store and pressed him. And T-Roy couldn't up his gun fast enough, so TB ended up killing him. And since T-Roy died, HK decided to go and get revenge for him because he caught up with TB and popped him outside the same store where his brother died. And 2 months later, HK would end up losing his life. But Wooskie's ops didn't let all of the disrespectful lyrics slide because Lil Durk got disrespectful in the song 248 and said, an OPP got hit in his TOP and he ain't even die. He also dissed Wooski on Should Have Ducked, saying he survived one to the head, but it up his body. In October 2018, Wooski went to a funeral of a mob member named Dooski the Man. Dooski had got hit a few days before, and it was rumored that the BDs were behind it. And on the day before Dooski's funeral, O-Block members were seen on FaceTime with Wooski, letting him know they had a big surprise coming for him.
So we gon' surprise.
It's time about tonight.
We gon' surprise, bro.
So the day of Dooski the Man's funeral was pretty tense, since everyone knew something could happen. And right after the service ended, Wooski stepped outside to smoke a cigarette when a car pulled up and hit up the front of the church. 5 other people walking out of the building also got hit, and Wooski suffered a wound to the head. He was rushed to the hospital and survived. However, he suffered minor brain damage, and he had to relearn how to walk and talk. So his ops steadily made fun of him due to that.
All the ugly motherfuckers seem like they super tough and they super gangster cause he ugly and he got shot in his head, so now he's stupid slow, they think that's savage. That's lame, don't nobody get shot in the head, that's goofy. Some bullets be changing them motherfuckers. Man. I hope you watching, I hope you hear this, yo dude.
But Wooski eventually made a full recovery and returned to rapping. Also, subscribe right quick if you're enjoying the video. But now, let's move on to a bar from UK rapper Young Diz, because in Smoky Things, he says, CJ's mom kept shedding tears. Somebody tell her, I don't give a that her son ain't here. Ever since her son got dropped, the whole block ain't done. CJ was 17 when he died, and his death was seen as one of the most brutal moves in the UK. His death has been covered by many British media outlets, but on September 4th, 2017, CJ and a group of guys were walking outside a playground in Newham when a truck pulled up and started firing their way. A 17-year-old boy was hit in the leg, and CJ was hit in the head. He was rushed to the hospital and put on life support, but later passed from his injuries. Video footage caught the vehicle used fleeing the scene, but CJ's killers were never arrested. And after CJ died, his gang didn't do anything to retaliate. So Young Diz made fun of them in the song. CJ's mother was pretty upset about the song and went to the police to have it removed from YouTube. But Young Diz isn't the only rapper who took shots at someone's mother in a diss, because Spinnerbins did the same, and I Don't Smoke Kendra, saying, this mama got shot and he's still tweaking. This got shot. Cool, I know she leaving. They shot that finger off. She couldn't even tweet it. Spinnerbins is dissing Fulio and his people with these lines, since Fulio's mother was shot while in her house, and Fulio's girl was hit multiple times while sitting in her car. One bullet grazed her head, and another hit her finger. After Fulio's girl got hit, his ops even went on Instagram making fun of her because of how she looked.
Oh, don't look right. You finna cheat on her, cuz.
And after she healed up, she posted a video on her YouTube channel explaining what happened.
So everybody wanna know, where did I get shot? I got shot. I got grazed in my head, I got shot in my hand, I got shot in my thumb, I got shot in my wrist, I got shot in my knee.
But Fulio ain't let all the dissing slide, because on his Beatbox remix, he says Corbin got kidnapped and they found his bones he was rotten. And this song went viral on TikTok, which made it even more disrespectful. Corbin Johnson was an 18-year-old from East Jacksonville, and Corbin was reported missing by his family on June 11th, 2018. On the last day Corbin was seen, he was out applying for jobs with his dad. Eventually, his dad dropped him off at an Amazon warehouse, but he never see his son again. The following day, his dad sent Corbin a couple texts, but couldn't get an answer.
Do y'all understand? This is more sophisticated than youngsters just mad at each other, dissing each other. These are organized gang members warring. That last thing, how'd they find Lil Homie? His daddy was taking him around job searching. And then at the end of the job search is 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. You don't just go to 1 or 2 spots job searching. You got to go to at least 3, 4, 5 spots. Then he dropped them off. So these people followed this boy and his daddy around waiting for opportunity. Excuse me. And my guess is if opportunity had not presented itself, his daddy probably would have died too. They kidnapped him. And then said when you found the bones, it was rotten. These are fucking teenagers, y'all. What are they even mad about? What the fuck are they upset about? They kidnapping each other, murdering each other, and then tweeting about this has never happened in human history. The fucking Zodiac killer did it, and he's one of the biggest killers in history. Okay, well, we got 5, 6 Zodiac killers in every ghetto in America. Something fucked my head up one time. I got a cousin that he retired now, but he was real heavy in that gang shit, and he was in Chicago. And I used to go down there and get my little moves from him and shit way back in the day. And he was taking me through a neighborhood, and the block was short as hell, y'all. And he like, this spot right here, cuz I had to burn about 6 niggas on this block last summer. Just casual conversation. You killed 6 men on one street block over a summer? At the time, I was impressed as fuck. As I sit back and think about it, my cousin admitted to being a goddamn serial killer. And that's just one summer. I know for a fact that's not the only summer he killed people. So how many bodies does he have? This the type of shit that's like, how do we not care? How is it so? See, this is why I say we had examples. You can't tell me we're not being influenced, because all of these people, all of these youngsters, when they're riding around killing, they're doing 2 things. They're listening to raps and they're making them. And they're making raps about the people they're killing. These rap songs about the people they're killing are becoming club anthems, #1 song in the hood, #1 song in the country. And there's lyrics in there about people who actually died. So you can kill somebody, you can remove somebody's son from this planet. They was making fun of the mother that got hit. You was aiming at the fucking son. The mother got hit on accident, and you went to social media and made fun of her, called her a dumb bitch. The girlfriend got hit, called her a stupid hoe. And if music don't influence people, please explain to me, how the fuck did they start drilling in the UK? Just wondering.
48 hours passed, his family filed a missing person report, but the police didn't have much info to go off of. Then, exactly a whole year later, on July 11th, 2019, a man clearing a field on a tractor found human remains wrapped in a bag. Police instantly determined it was Corbin, and this death was a homicide. There wasn't much evidence to go off of after his body was discovered, so no one was arrested. But Fulio even went live on IG and made fun of Corbin for getting kidnapped after he dropped the diss song.
This man got kidnapped, like real deal, lost and found type shit, like. They found this man on, bro, I ain't even just saying this shit. They literally found this man bones.
Tata from 4-1 also got disrespectful to Naughty Bop, saying he got poked one time, stopped breathing, and his mans left him. He was on the floor bleeding. I cannot die on a train like Ethan. Tata was dissing 14-year-old Ethan, aka Nadi Osama, because back in July 2022, Nadi spotted one of his ops at the 13th Street City College train station. So Nadi and his bros allegedly pressed the dude, and Nadi hit him with a broomstick. That's when the unnamed 15-year-old pulled out a knife and poked Nadi. Nadi pushed the dude onto the train tracks and tried running up the stairs, but he couldn't do much with him getting poked in his organs and collapsed. He was rushed to a local hospital, but unfortunately, it was too late, and Nadi died from the wound. And even though Nadi was young, that didn't stop his ops from dissing him after he died. KFG's hopped on IG Live and said,
Never, ever, ever lie. Ever, ever. Can't be in no train station like that stupid naughty, you heard?
Blockwork made a post on IG saying, "Sneak diss me, now you dead. God bless though, Lil." And after Kyle Rich dropped Naughty Bop, the song and dance instantly went on TikTok. And the point of it was to trick people into dancing to a diss track aimed at a 14-year-old. People were getting police, teachers, and even priests to do the dance without realizing that it was a diss. Speaking of disrespect, Youngboy also got disrespectful when he slid on Jada Youngin's block and when he attacked his DJ. So click this video to see NBA Youngboy's most disrespectful moments.
Man, this shit is like I'm from the streets, been there most of my life, but this shit is blowing me away, y'all. Like the boldness of how I honestly feel like this the first generation ever did this. This the first generation ever did this. Like motherfucker put certain little shit in there in a riddle back in the day, but they outwardly telling you who they killed them and making fun of them and tweeting it, making whole videos and shit, calling niggas stupid for dying, like, and nobody care.
Are some rap lyrics that really happened. First, we have a lyric from Youngboy. O Block Pack get rolled up. Murder what they told us. Atlanta boy get fold up. Bring the hook. NBA Youngboy. This line really lit the flame to a beef that was slowly dying out between him and Lil Durk. In this bar, he disrespects King Von and even the neighborhood that he grew up, O Block. King Von is a popular Chicago rapper that started to take off in 2019 after he was released from prison and dropped his single Crazy Story and has had his fans' attention since. It was until November 6, 2020, King Von died after being shot outside of a nightclub by Quando Rondo's homie, Lil Tim. This line taunts Lil Durk, someone who grew up with and was very close to Von. But Lil Durk isn't Youngboy's only op. Them corners picked him up cause he was slumped like a drunk man. Lit Yoshi Runts. Lit Yoshi is a Baton Rouge artist that signed to Fredo Bang's label, TBG. Fredo Bang is known for his ongoing beef with NBA Youngboy that has a lot of bloodshed behind it. In this specific line, Yoshi is talking about Desmond Hartnett, or Dump. Dump managed and was very close to Youngboy before he passed away in a shooting. On May 4th, 2018, Dump was chilling with some family when a vehicle pulled up and fired several shots, hitting Dump and a woman that was standing alongside him. Man, Lit Yoshi was a demon. He's even currently out on nearly a $2 million bond for 7 counts of attempted murder. But I can't do this video without including some lyrics from one of the most violent cities in America, Chicago. Check on your mans. I heard
out on bail for 7 counts of attempted murder. You're out on bail for trying to kill 7 different people? Like, I don't even know what the fuck. I never even heard of no shit like that.
got hit in the head, but he almost died, so I can't say his name because he ain't dead. Computer murders Lil Durk. In this line, Durk was dissing one of his many Chicago ops, Wooski. Wooski was shot in the head in 2018 with some O-Block members that took place while attending a funeral of one of his close friends, Dusky the Man. This caused him to suffer from minor brain damage, but he eventually recovered. What makes the line more controversial is how Durk said he can diss him because he ain't dead. Shortly after King Von died, Durk made a post on Instagram saying he's no longer dissing the dead in his tracks. He was referring to the many times he dissed FBG Duck, one of his dead ops. FBG Duck isn't innocent though. He is known for his violent and disrespectful raps. I know you heard about Lil Boo. They left his shit by a tire. Bullets was hitting him. He was singing like Mariah. Dead Bees, FBG Duck. Duck was talking about Lil Boo in this one. Lil Boo founded 600 along with D-Thang, not to be confused with O-Block's D-Thang. On April 3rd, 2015, Lil Boo was shot and killed while walking down King Drive. A car pulled up on the side of him and one guy jumped out, opening fire on Boo. Duck also mentions how they left him by a tire, referencing a picture that was taken of his unresponsive body next to the wheel of a parked car. Man, Chicago used to go crazy with the disses. This next rapper we have is also a drill rapper, but he isn't from Chicago. You ran on Wu Lottie, get back, war, K-Flock. This line may seem very vague, but it actually has a meaning behind it. In this bar, K-Flock is dissing another New York rapper, Shay G's, talking about how he ran away and left his friend Wu Lottie behind for dead. Wu Lottie was killed on April 7th, 2020. He was walking along with some other YG's members through Harlem when some OG's members pulled up in a black rental car and hopped out with sticks, brooms, butcher knives, and other objects. Once the OG's saw the YG's, they tried to run away, but Wu Lottie tripped and fell and got left behind. Once the YG's caught Lottie, they stabbed him and beat him with metal trash cans until he was unresponsive. K-Flock already has a foul past with the YG's, so he saw this as the perfect opportunity to diss the deceased rapper. But the disses go back and forth in New York, similar to Chicago's drill era. Jiggy Man got shot and he should have died. Wedgie Man this, Wedgie Man that, D-Thang. And no, this is not the Chicago D-Thang. The D-Thang I'm talking about this time is a drill rapper from the Bronx that is notorious for having beef with the OGs. In this song, he is dissing Sha Ek, a popular OG's member that has dissed D-Thang and the other OGs multiple times.
So the whole thing is like, this is how you get on now. Cook the beef, kill some people, you rap about it, get your city popping. Whoever get the popping hardest in the city, get the attention of the industry, and then the industry pick up somebody who they know is an unhinged maniac, which means we can get him to do what we want. And I called it pressure bust pipes because that's all of this is. We're raising ourselves. The pressure of these children raising themselves because we didn't fucking raise them right. Our parents is the last church generation. So them trying to press that on us, it wasn't right. It didn't take. And so we had to come up with our own thing. The powers that be sent us scrambling for identity. And so anytime you don't know who you are, there's somebody willing to tell you who you are. So since we will call ourselves everything but accountable and great, then it's easy for them to slide in and say, you're a gangster, you're a pimp, you're a hoe, you're a real nigga. All of these terms that don't mean a fucking thing except for out of their mouths that they come out of. And so now we're looking around and nobody wants to take accountability for what we're seeing. We're seeing black men that don't love black women. We're seeing black women that don't love black men, or black women that don't need black men. Black men that don't love black women that don't need black men, and black children that don't need either one of us. So that means people are completely in the state of mind that the only way to survive is through individualism. Once again, I say, we're being ruled over by the collective that's teaching us to only honor individuality. And in my opinion, that's the enormous root to all of these problems that we see. The last part of they clone Tyrone, it says assimilation versus annihilation. Well, I've already explained the significance of melanin on this planet. Excuse me. So if you remove the melanin from this planet, you remove the life force from this planet. So you can't do that. So then next is assimilation, which means how do we take the genetics of the black man and add that to the thought process of the white man? And every generation you see us going more and more like what we say they are. We brag about when we encountered him, he was an ignorant savage. Of course, y'all not gonna like it, but show me the difference between that and today's rappers. Because I love them and I ain't judging them. But I'm real enough to be honest. We have become the exact same ignorant savages we say we're nothing like. And the only difference is we like to pretend we're not who we are. Because we got that history that's so fucked up, it's easy to pretend that we haven't become exactly what they wanted us to be. There has never been a race of people on this planet to not care about their race and survive extinction. The only thing saving us is the fact that the planet would die without us. If it wasn't for that key factor, we would be showing all the signs of a race headed towards extinction. Because we don't value our race. We value the things that we know our race gives us, the perks, the melanin, the gifts, the great, and we value those things. But as a whole, we don't give a shit about us as a whole. And somebody had to train us to do that. However, no one's going to train us to undo it. That part we're going to have to figure out. I seen this. We were supposed to be talking about something else this week. I seen this and it made me really fucking sad. And I'm really disappointed in myself that the number one thing I wanted to show y'all, I somehow didn't load up, which was the video of that young lady. Excuse me. But I'm sure through what we did look at, y'all was able to get the picture. And I hope it fucked y'all up like it fucked me up, because that's the only way we're going to do something about it. I don't know. Y'all know the drill. We headed to Clubhouse after this. So don't meet me there, beat me there. And we're going to carry over this discussion in real time. And then I got some more clips that I can play. We won't be able to see them, but y'all will still be able to hear them. And then we'll be able to actually go over those tweets. I have all those tweets on deck so we can listen to the story, check out the tweets, and have some great dialogue. Our Clubhouse room been on fire lately. So, man, I hope y'all don't miss out and come get you some of that Misinformation Nation on Clubhouse. And that's what we doing. Knowledge is the only real power. Information is the only real currency. But the balance of both is the only route to divinity. I love y'all. I'm gone.